Welcome back to the show. This is KDS Reviews. The subject of this show actually came up because me and one of my subscribers out here in the real world, we were discussing movies. We were talking about, movies have this bad ending. I mean, this Hollywood ending. They never make you think. So I thought, you know what? These are the 10 greatest movie endings that I've ever seen. Starting off at number 10 is Wizard of Oz. We see her out there in Oz, the Tin Man, the Lion, the Scarecrow, and so forth. She spend the whole movie trying to get back to Kansas. And Glinda the Good Witch and the wizards, send her back, and she's going no place like home. And then we realize it was a dream. The whole thing was a dream. She got hit by a door. There was never any Oz or anything. That was a tornado. Take that, wicked. That's the ending to Wizard of Oz. And number 9 is The Thing. Now, the movie of The Thing is there's an alien creature there that's out in this Arctic base, and it's going from person to person. We don't know who has it, who does it inside, and what's going on. They have to kill each other, kill these people. So at the end, we're stuck with 2 people, Kurt Russell and Keith David. And one of them is still the creature. And we don't know who. I'm going to guess. I'm going to say it's Kurt Russell because I never don't see any smoke come out of his mouth. That's the ending to The Thing. At number 8 is Inception, another Christopher Nolan classic starring Leonardo DiCaprio, where they have to where they go into other people's dreams and change their mind and put things in their mind. And when they wake up, they think it was a dream, but it makes them make the right decision. But at the end of the movie, we see the top still spinning. Is it real or did he dream it all? That's the ending to Inception. Number 7 is a classic. There's always a classic. The Alfred Hitchcock classic, starring Anthony Perkins, Psycho. Now, throughout this movie, we see Mother is getting rid of all these people. He's killing this person, killing this lady, killing the cop. We hear Mother. We never really see her, but we hear her, only to be revealed at the end of the movie that it was Anthony Perkins all along, dressed up as his mother, was doing all this killing. I remember my dad told me that people in the theater screamed when the reveal happened, that it was so shocking like that. And then at the end, they have him locked up, and he starts talking as his mother again. He says, "Oh, I wouldn't even hurt a fly." That's the end of Psycho. At number 6, The Usual Suspects, where all these villains are on this boat, and the boat blows up, and everybody dies but one guy. But when the cops get him, he starts telling the story of what happened, who did this, who did that. And then the big-time crime lord, Kaiser Sosa, came up and killed everybody except him, and he escaped, only to find out that he made the whole story up. There were floorboards, posters, cups and everything with names on them. He made the whole thing up. And not only that, we find out that Kevin Spacey himself was Kaiser Sosa. That really got me. I didn't see that one coming. That's The Usual Suspects. Number 5. Here's a movie here that an actor doesn't even mention. I think this is one of his greatest movies. That's No Way Out, starring Kevin Costner and Gene Hackman, where they're both in this relationship with this one girl, but they don't know that each one of them is sleeping with her until Gene Hackman kills her. So since he's a government official, he gets Kevin Costner's character, Commander Farrell, to investigate the murder. He's a government official. He can't be caught sleeping with this woman that's not his wife. So through a series of circumstances, they try to just make up a spy. Gene Hackman just says, well, there was a spy here. There's a rumor of a spy in the Pentagon, named Yuri. And he's the one that did it, so everybody falls for that story. Only we found out at the end there really was a spy named Yuri, and it was Kevin Costner. He was a spy the whole time. I couldn't believe it. It was like a pin drop when I saw that movie. It's the ending to No Way Out. At number 4 is a powerful movie here, one of Spielberg's best. That's the ending to Schindler's List. This is the story of Oskar Schindler, who hid a lot of the Jews during World War II and how he did it and protected them. And then at the end, At the end of the war, he's escaping and he dresses himself up in the ghetto as one of the Jews. And he's saying, I could have done more. I could have done more. If I had just did this, I could have saved more. It's a really heart-wrenching scene. This is a tough watch. I'm not going to lie to you. This movie is really a tough watch. It'll touch you, you know. And then at the end, the screen gets dark and we see the real Schindler's List, the real Jews that Oscar Schindler had actually saved in real life. And they put a rock on his grave. I mean, it's just wow. It will just touch you in no way. That's the ending to Schindler's List. At number 3 is Star Wars. Not Star Wars, really, but Attack of the Clones, one of the prequels. You know, through this whole movie, we find out that Palpatine had been building this army, cloned Jango Fett. And then now the Republic is this big army is going to put down the Separatists. So at the end, they say, wow, well, that's great. This is all over now. And Yoda looks at them and says, over. This is just beginning. Thus begins the Clone Wars. And we see thousands and thousands of stormtroopers marching off and the ships taking off. I was like, wow, that blew my mind in the theater. I was like, wow, when is the next movie? This is an awesome ending. I mean, that ending just, the music and how it rose and then it got dark. I was like, wow, this is going to be great. I couldn't wait till the Revenge of the Sith came out. That's the ending of Attack of the Clones. And number 2, here's one that I knew was going to go on, and a few people didn't know too. But boy, people were absolutely shocked when they saw the ending of it. That's the ending to Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War, with the snap. He goes there, he beats the Avengers, he beats them all. I mean, all of them he beats. And then Thor shows up and he tells him, you should have gone for the head. And he does the snap, and then half the universe disappears. I mean, I don't know, people in the theater were like, oh, no, and they were just shocked. They couldn't believe it. This is the greatest comic book movie of all time. And then Thanos sits down, and that's it. In reality, to me, that should have been the ending of the Infinity Saga. That should have been the end of the Marvel movies. That was the greatest ending I've ever seen. One of the greatest endings I've ever seen in my life. That's the snap on Avengers Infinity War. At number 1, here's one you might know, you might not know. That's the ending to Planet of the Apes. Wow. You know, he crash land on this planet that's run by apes, and they keep telling him, you know, they taking over. And he keeps telling them, well, where I come from, men were on top and apes were below. And they keep warning him about things. And there's little hints in the movie, like this little baby doll and their train. I never really thought about it. I said, well, you know, maybe that was just part of their life. And they keep telling him, he keeps investigating, he's not going to like what he sees. And then the movie starts to go off when he's riding on the beach. And I got up. I remember I was like 12 years old. And my dad said, sit back down. The movie's not over. And then lo and behold, there's the Statue of Liberty. He was on Earth the whole time. There was no Planet of the Apes. I could not believe that. I was like, wow. I remember like weeks after that, I couldn't get that shot out of my mind with the Statue of Liberty right there on the ocean beach and him down on the ground. I could not believe it. That is the greatest ending to any movie that I have ever seen. This is KDS Reviews. And KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Sunday. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe, and share. What are some of the great movie endings that you've seen? This is KDS Reviews, and I'll see you in the next video.